Pep Guardiola is considered one of the best managers to ever stand on the touchline, but could he do it on a cold Tuesday night in Stoke? Or for this experiment, Sheffield or Burnley? Could someone like Sean Dyche bring his trademark 4-4-2 to Manchester United and take them back to the top? Well, in today's video, we are going to find out with a little bit of Premier League Manager Roulette. I have two wheels set up for this video, one with Premier League clubs on it and the other with the 20 Premier League managers. I will be spinning these wheels to create a brand new dynamic in the Premier League, and we will find out today who will be successful and who will be relegated. It is all up to the power of the wheel. So I sat here and I spun the wheel 20 times. We now have 20 clubs matched up with 20 managers, and this is who is managing who. So in alphabetical order, you can see Rob Edwards is now the Arsenal manager, Roy Hodgson is at Aston Villa, Ange Postecoglou is at Bournemouth, Nuno Espirito Santo is at Brentford, Brighton got the lucky draw with Pep Guardiola, Burnley have Jurgen Klopp, so it will be interesting to see if he can keep them up. Chelsea get Andoni Iraola, who I could see managing Chelsea in the future, Crystal Palace get Erik ten Hag, Everton get Mauricio Pochettino, Fulham get Paul Heckingbottom, Liverpool get Gary O'Neill, Luton Town get Eddie Howe, Manchester City get Marco Silva, Manchester United get Roberto De Zerbi, Newcastle get Sean Dyche and his 4-4-2, Nottingham Forest get Thomas Frank, Sheffield United get Vincent Kompany, Tottenham get David Moyes, West Ham get Mikel Arteta, and Wolves, to complete the set, get Unai Emery. So I have now made these changes in-game, and what I'm going to do is simulate an entire Premier League season. But I want you guys to tell me down in that comment section, what team do you think will win the Premier League? And two, who do you think the first manager to get sacked will be? Let's get to simulating. Okay guys, so we have simulated this entire season and we are going to go through right now and see who has won what. Now, opening things up, we can see Liverpool have won the Premier League, Manchester City are in second, Arsenal in third, United in fourth, and Chelsea in fifth, with all 5 of those teams qualifying for the Champions League. So it looks like the power curve hasn't really been adjusted too much, but Gary O'Neill has won the Premier League at Liverpool. Some very interesting stuff here. We are going to go and take a look in a second and see who got relegated, but on first glance, looking at some of these teams, it seems like they are kind of doing a little bit better. Bournemouth are up in 9th, Nottingham Forest are in 10th, Tottenham no longer with Ange, we'll get onto that in a second obviously. They finished in 11th, that's probably pretty poor. Luton managed to stay up with Eddie Howe, which is really nice, and Jurgen Klopp kept Burnley in the division. So we're going to go and have a look now. What you can do is go and take a look at the managers tab. So I don't know how many managers have been sacked at this point, so it's going to be very interesting to see how we get on, but I would imagine Mikel Arteta at West Ham, probably not there anymore, and I would imagine it was David Moyes at Tottenham, so I imagine he's gone. So this is who is managing who, and actually on this screen what you can do is actually sort them by win percentage in the Premier League. So if we sort them, you can see Liverpool, who did win the Premier League with Gary O'Neill as their manager, 85% win ratio for him, and his job security has now gone up to untouchable, which is mad. Arsenal with Rob Edwards, everyone's doing pretty well there. But then down the bottom, you can see there have been some managerial changes. Xavi Garcia is the manager of Sheffield United. West Ham have appointed Julian Lopetegui. And we can also see, where is the other one? Arne Slot, there he is the manager of Tottenham. Now, if we have a look at the duration that they've been at the clubs, Tottenham were the first team to sack their manager. So we'll go and take a look at Spurs and what they did. David Moyes obviously there, 21% win ratio, 3 wins, 4 draws and 7 losses as the Tottenham manager. He then got sacked, obviously got replaced by Ryan Mason for almost a month before Arne Slot came in to take over. West Ham, if we go and take a look, they had Mikel Arteta. Arteta got 5 wins, 6 draws and 10 defeats, which is not great. A 23% win ratio for him. He was replaced by Kevin Nolan for 31 days. Then in comes the former Wolves man, Julian Lopetegui. And then finally, Javi Garcia is here at Sheffield United. That is the wrong button, Steve. There we go. We need to go here and go into the managers. They did sack Vincent Kompany with a 5% win ratio. I think this was probably the toughest ask, to be honest. 1 win, 5 draws, and 11 defeats for Vincent Kompany, and then he has been replaced by Javi Garcia. This is really interesting, though, to see what's happened, because ultimately, I don't think much has changed. If we go back to the profile of the Premier League, you can see kind of things are basically status quo almost. Man City getting a lot of draws with Marco Silva as their manager, but ultimately, do AI managers matter that much? I mean, we've really shuffled everybody around here, and it seems like not a lot has happened. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go through some of the other competitions. Let's go and take a look at the FA Cup. The Emirates FA Cup. Okay, so Liverpool won that one as well. Liverpool versus Arsenal in that final. Gary O'Neill versus Rob Edwards, and Liverpool come out on top. So that is a double secured for Liverpool at this point. Doing very, very well. It looks like a pretty close game. I'll get some highlights of this and we can flash it up on the screen so that you guys can go and see what this game looks like and see if the patterns of style and patterns of play are exactly what you would expect from the new managers at these clubs. If we move on to the Carabao Cup, that was a repeat of the same final. Liverpool versus Arsenal yet again. Liverpool coming out on top on this one as well. The deciding factor being a David Raya own goal, as he got a 5.1 rating in this game. That is awful. That's really, really poor. Seeing anything below a 6 makes me alarmed. So yeah, very, very poor performance from him in this final. But a domestic treble for Liverpool, so that is mightily impressive. If we go and take a look at the Champions League, shall we then? Arsenal win that one. Rob Edwards wins the Champions League with Arsenal beating Marco Silva's Manchester City in that final. Stefan Ortega having a stinker in this one. Where is Ederson? He must be injured. Arsenal coming out on top. Tyrese John-Jules with a hat-trick in 7 second half minutes. That is absolutely ludicrous. Looks like Rob Edwards is preferred David Raya over Aaron Ramsdale in goal, which is interesting. He's doing something similar as Mikel Arteta in real life. But Arsenal do win the Champions League and finished 3rd in the Premier League. So that's not too bad, is it? I don't think. Let's drop down to the Europa League, and Liverpool complete a clean sweep, a quadruple for Gary O'Neill. Mo Salah with a goal and then a penalty, and then Alexis McAllister with another penalty to beat Villarreal in that final. Absolute clean sweep. That's probably why he was untouchable in this particular simulation. Into the Europa Conference League. Okay, it was Fiorentina versus Osasuna. If we take a look at the semis and go back to see if we can get an English team. Okay, there's Aston Villa. Roy Hodgson's Aston Villa losing in the semi-finals to Osasuna. That's quite poor. They lost on penalties after 23 shots and only 7 on target. That is a big yikes, Ollie Watkins. This has been quite an interesting video though, guys. I mean, if there's anything that you would like to see or know about in the comments, please do let me know. But this has been very interesting to see who gets on, because it seems like it doesn't matter who the manager is. It is all just about the players. And Gary O'Neill, who'd have thought, an untouchable manager at Liverpool. If you do like these sorts of experiments, guys, check out this video. It's all the experiments that we've done on this year's game. And if you want to see anything else, let me know what it is down in that comment section.